Hello, welcome. Today we are talking about Leviticus Chapter 7, and guess what we're talking about? More offerings. So today we continue our discussion about guilt offerings. We also see a little about peace offerings. And if you think about it, if you've read through each chapter, the chapters kind of build on each other. So that just kind of really reinforces to us why it's important for us to not skip certain parts of the Bible just because they're not as interesting or we feel like they don't apply as much to today. So today's chapter gives us more instructions dealing with how to make sacrifices for the guilt offerings. We are also given a look at peace offerings and some of the things that could be offered there. And this chapter tells us about the three different types of peace offerings. We have the Thanksgiving offering, the vow offering, and the voluntary offering. So a little bit about each of those. The Thanksgiving offering was given or was appropriate whenever one wished to show thanks to God. So that makes sense. As when recovering from a serious illness or after surviving a dangerous calamity. So when someone had been through something and God had protected them, brought them through that, that would be an appropriate time for a Thanksgiving offering. A vow offering was given in fulfillment of a vow. And the third offering, the voluntary offering, didn't need a special occasion or reason. It was just that. It was voluntary. The people were just giving an offering to praise and thank God for no specific reason. Another interesting thing about today's chapter is it talks about some of these sacrifices, and we know that most of them involved animals, and they would actually put these animals on the altar and burn them. Well, there were priests who were working in the tabernacle every day, and I don't know at that time if the priest actually had a salary. So one of the ways God provided for the priest was through allowing them to eat certain portions of these offerings. We know, like I said, that most of them were from animals. So that is the way that the priests were fed for their work, was they were allowed to eat certain portions of the different offerings. Now, we know that Leviticus in particular is kind of a very ritualistic chapter. There are a lot of rituals and things that had to be followed. And just as we don't like to read Leviticus, the people of that time kind of got tired of practicing all these rituals. An interesting footnote in my Bible said that God gave his people many rituals and instructions to follow. All the rituals in Leviticus were meant to teach people valuable lessons, so they all had meaning. But over time, the people became indifferent to the meanings of these rituals and they began to lose touch with God. When your church appears to be conducting dry, meaningless rituals, instead of criticizing or becoming discouraged, try rediscovering the original meaning and purpose behind each ritual. Your worship will be revitalized. Have you ever been in a church setting where maybe they do a certain prayer every week, or they do communion in a certain way, or there's something that they do exactly the same every week that you kind of sometimes, and I've been guilty of this, you kind of find yourself saying, oh, I wish we could just hurry up and get through this. If you are in that place, this encourages us to think about the meaning behind that ritual. There is, I'm sure, a good reason that your church is doing that, and think about the meaning behind that ritual and reflect on that meaning. Thank you guys for watching today. Be sure to hit like, subscribe, all the things, and I will see you next time.